Hello boys and girls, welcome to my channel, I'm For Classic and welcome to BenchART. So for today what I do have in it is Dirt 5, a game developed by Codemasters Cheshire, and it is using their in-house engine. This is not the Ego engine that we are used to see in games developed by Codemasters. No, this is a different engine used by Codemasters Cheshire. But I know that you are here to know about how this game performs on the GTX 1650 Super, and these are updated results with the latest patch. So my recommendation it is for you to play the game at medium settings if you want to achieve almost a fully stable 60 frames per second. So first of all, let's take a look on the requirements. This game requires a lot. I mean, they are not asking that much on the CPU front, but on the GPU department they are asking for an RX 580 or an Nvidia GTX 970. That's really very close to the 1650 Super performance, and at 1080p, the median settings it is for me what it did provide a frame rate above 60 frames per second for the most part. There were still a drop here and there, which I will explain when that happens, but apart from that it was fine. So high or ultra high performs good in between the 30 to 60 frames per second, and same can be said about 1440p, whatever if you go with medium, high or ultra high, which is the maximum you can go in this game, you can expect a frame rate in between the 30 to 60 frames per second, obviously with different averages. 4K median settings, unfortunately it does drop below 30 frames per second in some occasions. All of these tests were conducted using the in-game benchmark tool, and it was I was not using any dynamic resolution scaling. So for example, for 4K, if you do use the dynamic resolution scaling, possibly the game won't be dropping below 30 frames per second, but that's something that I didn't really test it out. So why did I set that it was above 60 frames per second for the most part? This is because there are moments inside this game where inevitable the game will drop frame rate, and those occasions for me it was especially when there were big puddles of water. Not because we are seeing reflections or not because we are crossing above of it. It's not that. It's the splash effect that when you get like 3 or 4 opponents doing exactly the same thing as you, which is crossing that puddle of water and splashing the water all over the place. When 3 or 4 opponents do that at the same time as you get a drop in frame rate. I think that's quite normal given the fact that's a lot of alpha effects, because apart from that, the game just plays above 60 frames per second, and when used with VSync, it just feels so damn smooth. So my recommendation for this game it is for you to play at medium settings, use dynamic resolution to try to mitigate those drops in the puddles, and as my preference, I do like to use VSync if you have because I have a 60 Hz monitor and it does lock at 60 frames per second. But of course, as this benchmark, I have VSync unlocked so that you can see the maximum frame rate you can achieve with these same settings. So, what can you expect from Dirt 5 regarding the game? So Dirt 5, it isn't really the same type of Dirt that we are used to play, alright? Dirt 1, Dirt 2, Dirt 3 and Dirt 4 are arcade-ish games, but it kind of mixes up a good balance between arcade and simulation. And Dirt Rally 1 and Dirt Rally 2, these are simulators, as also known as Dark Souls of the rally. Alright, so Dirt 5 it is a different beast because it is developed by a full different team. All the previous titles were developed by the internal studios of Codemasters. This one it is developed by Codemasters Cheshire, which is a new team inside Codemasters, which were previously known as Evolution Studios. Which, in case you don't know, Evolution Studios were the guys that did develop MotorStorm and Drive Club. All these PlayStation exclusives were developed by Evolution team, and this studio it is you know, well known for their arcade games and their nice graphics and their in-house engine. Alright, so yeah, it's a full different studio and a full different type of racing game. This Dirt 5, it feels like a MotorStorm game, but with visuals that resembles a lot of the previous Dirts, but with completely different maps for you to play. But above all, what you need to know, it is gameplay wise, this is MotorStorm. Alright, it resembles a lot of MotorStorm. It is nothing or even related with the previous Dirts. The gameplay, it is fully different, and for people that were expecting to have the same type of gameplay as Dirt 2 or Dirt 3, no, this is way more arcade. If you never played MotorStorm, this is completely fully arcade. Sometimes the type of gameplay, it doesn't make sense if you play the previous Dirts, so it's a full different beast. It is fully arcade. Now on the other end, these guys bring something that we really wanted from Dirt, which is the style. The style inside Dirt 2 and Dirt 3, it is back. The game is very stylish, the soundtrack, it is simply awesome, and it is very fun to play. This is something that I really missed about Dirt, but it's a different game. So calling this Dirt 5, in my opinion, it doesn't make sense. They could name this kind of a MotorStorm or something. I know that they can't do this because this was property of Sony and PlayStation, so they can't use MotorStorm game. But the way I see it, Dirt 5, it is a MotorStorm game, but a little bit more contained, with not so much bullshit, you know. But still, this is a full arcade game. Don't come and buy this game or play this game expecting this to be kind of a Dirt 2 or Dirt 3. It is not. It is a more contained MotorStorm game. Alright, and that's because this is not the same developers as the other Dirts. Alright, this is previously Evolution Studios. It is called Codemasters, and they also developed a game that also Codemasters did release it. It was their first game on Codemasters, which was on Rush, which was called previously the Overwatch of the racing games. So yeah, that's what you can expect from these guys. A much more arcade-ish experience. So if I have to guess, I would say that the next Dirts will be handled by Codemasters, since they are into more arcade-ish experience in more bling type of visuals, and the realistic things will be the original Codemasters with Dirt Rally, possibly Dirt Rally 3.0, let's hope so, and possibly something like Grid. It will be handled by Slightly Mad Studios with their Project Cars. I'm not really sure about this, but I'm just assuming that's the way that the Codemasters will work from now on. But I don't know. Now that EA have brought Codemasters, it remains to be seen what it will happen with the upcoming games. Alright, so guys, I think that's all that I want to talk about Dirt 5. Hope you keep enjoying the rest of the video, and I do hope to see you soon. Goodbye.